this? Are you ready for this?
Good evening to you. This is more like it, isn't it? One table, centre stage in the Crucible Theatre, and four principal characters left in the drama that is the Betfred World Championship. It's day 13, it's semi-finals time, and all four men have had to win 36 frames just to get here. But the winner will have to win 35 more before he lifts the trophy on Monday night. And the hard work started this afternoon in the first session of our first semi-final. Scotland's John Higgins, who is well used to this one table set up against 26-year-old Englishman Kyron Wilson, who is not.
Well, it's always a great occasion, the semi-final of the World Championship. Oh, wonderful shot. But whatever you do, don't miss the blue. Well, he could cut it in. Has worked out perfectly. They played 3 frames, he's won 3 frames. There's not much of a gap, is there? Not much of a gap, but it doesn't matter now, the red went in. Well, you couldn't have played it better than that. That was a wonderful shot. Miss Black to steal the frame. Well played. It's 4-1. Turn up. We love that.
Wonderful, 140. And he's just one behind at 4 frames to 3.
Oh, well. I don't believe it. He can't believe it. Pink for the frame. In it goes.
John Higgins leaves the arena 5-3 in front.
And they're back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for their second session. 6-time world champion Steve Davis with me. Do you still get the tingles when you see this arena transform like this, Steve?
Yeah, I think the Crucible takes on a different feeling at the semi-final stage. And when you walk out as a player into that arena and all eyes are on you, you feel a very special snooker player. And indeed, you are a very special snooker player. Not many get to the semi-finals of this event.
Quick reflection on this afternoon's action. A lot of people questioned how much John Higgins' last gasp win over Judd Trump would take out of him. Fairly emphatic response, though.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, I think he was tired this morning because apparently the word out was he didn't get too much sleep last night. It's tough to get, you know, your mind's racing. So to actually win that session is a bonus, I think. Probably if you'd have said, OK, you might be a bit sort of struggling in the morning session, the first, you know, like the morning, you know, 4 all? Yeah, OK, I'll take 4 all, but 5-3 is a little bonus.
Disconcerting for Kyron Wilson, no matter how experienced you are, walking out here for the first time. Does it take a little bit of getting used to, Steve?
It may do, but I think, you know, every start of every match is different. You never know how it's going to unfold, but you've got 4 sessions, and if you get off to a bad start or a slightly worse start, you've got plenty of time to recover. So the story that unfolds in the semi-finals gets even more fascinating. Twists and turns all the way. Now,
age and middle age is very much a theme this year. We've got 42-year-old John Higgins, we've got 43-year-old Mark Williams in the other semi-final. And albeit it's remarkable, should we be that surprised after the incredible season that they've both had?
Well, we shouldn't be surprised by John Higgins and Mark Williams because they are just brilliant exponents of the game. But, of course, there's this thing about the fact there's not been a 40-year-old winner of this event since Ray Reardon in 1978. So, therefore, the writing's on the wall that there wasn't going to be any, and if possibly it was going to be one, it would be Ronnie O'Sullivan. But, actually, they're producing. And you can't argue with that. They look very strong, both of them.
But Barry Hawkins, one of the most consistent performers at the Crucible of the last few years, he's won more matches than Mark Selby in the last few years. This is his 5th semi-final in 6 years. Surely he can't be underestimated now.
No, you wouldn't think so, but people still do, I think. But what a great player, what a great match player. Every snooker player who's played against him, and we all watch in the studio, he's an astonishing player. Watching him in the practice room, he doesn't miss. He's got a great cue action. He's got a great all-round game. So he could do some damage in this tournament. OK,
it's their first session tonight. We've got Hawkins against Williams, two lefties playing for the right to star in the final.
There's too many great players to thinking, oh, I've got a chance this year. I'm not even thinking about it. I've been here before. I know what to expect. But yeah, I don't think you can get ahead of yourself, and I think that helps really. Don't get too excited.
My season so far, you know, I was probably expected to get to the quarters or semis because I've been playing that well all year, and Barry's got a tremendous record here. He's always in the quarters and semis, so you know, I think a lot of people would expect these two in the semi-final, and I'm sure it's going to be a great match, and you know, it's 50-50. I think who can pick the winner.
Everyone keeps asking me, why you got such a decent record? I ain't got a clue. I mean, perhaps I like the atmosphere, and the little bit of extra pressure sometimes gets me maybe more focused, so maybe that's the answer.
It's very difficult to have a record like he's got. You're obviously doing something right, and I think I heard him say, you know, he doesn't do anything different. It just clicks for him here, so it's going to be a tough match, but I'm just looking forward to it. It'll just be an excellent occasion for me to get back to the semi-final and the one-table setup.
Mark's a great player. He's had an unbelievable season, won a couple of tournaments, been playing so consistent, you know, the whole year, and he's actually enjoying playing again, and he's been putting the work in, and obviously that's made a massive difference to him.
We all know what the turnaround is. Without doubt, there's no question he's using Steve Feeney. That's the massive turnaround. Some people don't like to admit it and say it's me practicing more. I practiced hard last year, the year before. It's just doing the same old things and not getting anywhere. And you know, it can't be a coincidence that this is the first year I've started working with him. And my results have been, well, I mean, just crazy, really.
On the outside, you know, he looks all calm, and like most of us, you know, when you're out there, he wants to win more than most people. So don't underestimate that facade, if you like. He's a great player, and it's going to be a tough game. I think my head-to-head's not very good against him, and but yeah, I mean, I can always change that.
How many more years I'm going to be coming here again to semi-finals, I don't know. And I'm going to go out. If I win, great. If not, I'm just going to enjoy every moment and just try and relax and just take it all in. You know, I'm still in semi-finals, still on that crest of a wave, and I'll keep surfing it until I come crashing down.
Well, Barry mentioned the head-to-head series between these guys. In fact, they've never met in any world ranking event beyond the last 32 stage, and it's 4 years since they last squared up in a world ranking event. Interesting that Williams has beaten Hawkins in all 5 of those previous matches, but this is by far the most significant occasion on which they have played. Barry, well used to this occasion, as we've been hearing, but for Mark, well, it's been a while. So MC Rob Walker, time to remind them both of what it's all about.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This semi-final has the makings of a mouth-watering matchup. Two world-class left-handers going toe-to-toe for a place in this year's Betfred World Snooker Championship final. They've both been here before. They're both in top form. This could be a very, very special night. Please welcome a player who must now surely be regarded as one of the sport's all-time greats. This season, he is right back to his best, winning 3 big titles up into the world's top 8 once more. 20 years after his first Crucible semi-final, he's still here going strong, and he says he's determined to enjoy every second of this match, and he will fire it up in his own inimitable style. Here he comes, Mark Williams. And his opponent, a player fast developing a formidable Crucible record. As we've heard, this is his 5th semi-final in the last 6 years. He was in superb form for that emphatic victory over Ding, the tournament favourite, 13-5 in the quarter-finals. Some say his modesty means he doesn't always get the respect his talents deserve. Make no mistake, he is one of the finest in the sport, and he will go for it tonight, because he's the Hawk, Barry Hawkins.
So here we go, the start of a 3-day affair over 4 sessions and a possible 33 frames. 17 is the magic number required, but 2 is the magic number in the commentary box as we say hello to our fabulous world champion Stephen Hendry and Dennis Taylor.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second semi-final.
First frame, Barry Hawkins to do.
And it's Barry Hawkins who will get the first frame underway, and nice to see that big smile of his as he was introduced to the crowd. It's going to be a tough one to call this, Stephen, I think.
Yeah, both players were very impressive in their quarter-final victories over Ding Junhui and Ali Carter, respectively. It's amazing how Barry Hawkins has become such a fantastic Crucible player. Obviously not won it yet, but got a great record playing here.
Yeah, it's the 4th time in 5 years that he's got to the one-table setup. Now that is some going. That's a good return. Safety, I was just about to say, I think Mark Williams might edge it in the safety department, but judging by that shot, they could be very evenly matched in the tactical side of the game. Well, there you can see the tournament safety success of both players. There's not a lot to choose between them. And look at that, pot success, both at 90%.
Yeah, Dennis, you said Barry Hawkins has been here 4 of the last 5 years, the one table. So there's an argument to say that Williams, even though he's won this twice, might be the more nervous of the two tonight. Certainly starting off.
Of course, as Hazel said, it's a battle of the left-handers. That's another excellent safety shot. And just going back to the left-handers, I mean, years back, Perry Mons from South Africa was a great potter. There wasn't that many left-handers around, and all of a sudden now there's a lot of them, and they're all brilliant potters. It's amazing. You've got Judd Trump, you've got Neil Robertson, Jimmy White, you know, Mark Allen, great. They're all brilliant potters. Mark Williams, of course, Barry here.
First mistake made by Mark Williams. Red to left middle, black's on to the right corner. No. Surprising miss. No real pressure on it.
Of course, when you do miss now, you're at the one table situation. It's quite a walk back to the seat, much further than it was when there was the two tables. So now you can see it. This is when the crucible comes into its own. And that's a typical Mark Williams shot there. Just show you, he just sort of floats the red into the pocket, but it's come up a little bit short with the cue ball. But I don't think the in-off is on. If he pots the blue, but he might cannon the green, that's the only problem. Oh, he's looking at the black. This would be some shot to pull off from that position. No. That was
Mark Williams won.
Expecting a bit too much. That was very difficult. He couldn't get on a red if he had taken the blue. But that was quite ambitious.
I think Barry's got there's enough angle in the black to screw the cue ball up. There's at least one red available to the left corner. Don't think any of the reds pot to the left middle.
Yeah, just as you predicted there, Stephen. So is that risky black that Mark Williams took on going to be costly?
8. Nine.
Got that little mannerism sometime, Barry, with the middle finger. You can see it there, just coming up and down off the cloth. It's amazing the number of players that used to do that. Tony Mayo, another left-hander.
16.
It looked like he was playing the piano the way he used to bridge at the ball.
Seventeen. $24.
Just enough room. See that curled up finger
25.
as well. That's another little mannerism that Barry has when he's near the cushion. The only player that does that. That's an excellent positional shot there.
42.
think there's also a red to the left of the bunch that will go to the left corner, so doesn't have to go. I was going to say he doesn't have to split the reds, but he's playing an aggressive shot there. Just screw the cue ball back an extra 2-3 inches. He may even go into the bunch again here, just to hold the cue ball, just to kill the pace of it. It's a frame-winning chance now. That risky black from Mark Williams
38.
could prove costly, Dennis.
Yeah, I was surprised that he did take the black on. I know if he had have taken the blue, he would have cannoned into the green, but he just felt, you know, he's playing so well, but it was a very, very risky one in the opening frame.
Yeah, it's not very often that you would criticise Mark Williams' shot selection. I mean, he possibly thought that he was going to leave the black over the corner pocket, should he miss it. But he didn't get close enough to do that.
$46. 47.
Always nice if you can start a semi-final with taking the opening frame, but more importantly, if you can do it with one visit. All the greats of the game had a knack of doing that. Gentleman next to me on numerous times started a semi-final or a final with a century break. Steve Davis was the same.
Yeah, when he gets going, Barry Hawkins, he can score. I think it was the Grand Prix
52.
possibly a couple of years ago. Final against Ryan Day had 4, possibly 5 centuries in that final. And every time he got in, he just looked like he was going to clear up every time.
53.
He's not afraid of scoring heavily.
It was the wrong side of the blue there, Stephen, but it didn't matter being a left-hander, did it?
No, I was going to say that might sound a silly thing to say, afraid to score heavy, but it's amazing how some players, they may have 1 century or 2 centuries, and then they sort of, you know,
59.
switch off. He just kept on pounding in the big breaks.
This blue and one more red would be enough. .63 ahead. If he pots this red, there'd only be a possible 59 remaining, but you can't see him slipping up here.
$65.
He's already had 6 centuries in this year's Betfred World Championship.
72. $73.
And we've had 69 centuries so far this year. Keep thinking that record of 86 centuries will be beaten, but the way these players are playing, it might go this year.
81.
I might be able to move this difficult red from this shot here.
88. 89.
Move that red from one side of the table to the other, but of course It's further from the cushion. He can drop behind it.
$94.
Oh, what a start for Barry Hawkins. One slight error from Mark Williams, and he's been in his seat ever since.
Thank you. 95.
Absolutely brilliant from Barry Hawkins.
102.
That's the 70th century this year.
104.
Well, this has been very impressive from Barry Hawkins.
107.
Putting a marker down early to his opponent. Then you make a mistake, you're going to sit in your chair for the rest of the frame. I'm sure Mark Williams will have something to say about that.
116.
If this was like a boxing match, Barry Hawkins has definitely got the first punch in.
Yeah, what a punch. A magnificent century break.
One slip up from Mark Williams, and Barry knocked in that magnificent break of 129, and he leads 1 frame to 0.
That is how you start a semi-final, isn't it? And it's the 70th, as Dennis was saying, of the championship. We've got to 86. Both of those records set in 2016 and 2015. We had 86 in the two championships. So we're on a roll here. And Barry Hawkins is very definitely on a roll, isn't he, Steve? That really sets the tone at the start of this championship semi-final.
Well, it does, and you never know. The start of any match can be very important. And Mark Williams had a great opportunist red, which he cut in, playing safe at the same time if he missed it, and hoping to be perhaps on the blue, but he underhit the shot just a little bit and left himself a big problem. And it wasn't a shot he wanted to play, so he's played the black. As Stephen Hendry said, perhaps he could get a cover-up if he missed it, but the black escaped, so no guarantee of the cover-up. But what that did was, it was quite... I'd say it's the most aggressive shot, but he didn't have to play the shot. He didn't like the shot. He could have played a safety shot. He could have just dumped the cue ball on the cushion. By playing the black, quite aggressively, if he doesn't get the cover-up, he presents Barry Hawkins with an easier chance. And Barry Hawkins gladly took it. So all of a sudden, Mark Williams on the back foot. If he plays a safety shot, you don't actually know what's going to happen in the match.
OK, well, you're in nitpicking mode already, Steve, here, but you have to be at this level of the championship.
Yeah, they're all ifs and buts, but as Stephen Hendry said, it wasn't guaranteed. He didn't have to go for that black.
Quietly, please.
Well, from our ringside seat, we are back out in the arena.
That was whispering Hazel Irvine, yeah. Reminds me of the great voice of snooker, whispering Ted Lowe. And do you know the reason he used to whisper, Stephen? He used to sit in maybe the third or fourth row and commentate. So he used to whisper so as the players couldn't hear him way back in the early days.
Dennis, I've been reliably informed that the 4 players in the semi-finals have made 25 out of those 70 centuries. So whether 86 is going to get beat remains to be seen. Obviously, there's after the semi-finals only 2 players left, so less players, less centuries. But Shows you the 4 players left in it. Scoring heavily is what you have to do to win this championship.
What a cut in this was, and what a nice favourable kiss he got also off that red, I think, and the yellow to leave him perfect on the green to get back up to the red. Early chance in the second frame for the Hawk.
Four. Five.
Now that was a simple little cannon that has made quite a difference. So
$13.
and another one to keep him on the black. $20. $21. $28.
He's really striking the cue ball with authority. There's nothing tentative about it, nothing nervous about it.
29.
Very confident looking, Barry Hawkins. And needs that cue ball to stop just in time.
34.
It's a decent opportunity, this.
$35.
Yeah, they talked just before play started about not having beaten Mark Williams, but I don't think that's going to play a part in this. 5 wins for Mark, but I mean some of those were going back 8 years. I think the last time we met,
42.
believe it or not, was 4 years ago. So this is a different player we're looking at here now, and Mark knows that.
43. $50. $51.
And there's an interesting spectator. That's Harrison, and Tara, his mum. And this is their man out, looking like he's going to win the second frame. And Harrison complimented on his hair, all gelled up. What a hairstyle that is. Brilliant.
'59.
Well, this is just an awesome start from Barry Hawkins here, and there might be a plant on. And you know, when you're playing well, Steve, and everything's going well, these little things appear, don't they? Plants and all sorts of things. Yeah, and the plant must be on.
66.
As you can see, he can make that.
Yeah, unmissable. Cue ball going back down towards the black as well.
67.
Well, that more or less guarantees the second frame.
74. Thank you. Barry Hawkins, 74.
Mark Williams having to think about it, and he is going to carry on. Two 4-point snookers required. But I think he wants some table time at the moment. He's been sat in that chair virtually for the first two frames.
Yeah, that was a surprising miss from Barry Hawkins, because his rest success rate has been superb. And maybe he's got another plant to put this second frame to bed. Yeah, he just seemed to, I think the blue was a bit of a distraction there, just put him off slightly. So this possible plant, but is the other red blocking the path? Let's see as we pull it. Well, he'd have to, well, he could plant the two reds onto the one and maybe pot the one that's near the pocket. Why not? Why not? Why?
Harrison enjoyed that one.
Barry Hawkins, 5.
This time Mark Williams does concede, so what a start for Barry Hawkins. Leads Mark Williams 2 frames to 0.
And significant that Barry Hawkins stays in the arena. Mark Williams just goes out, just to maybe just compose himself a little bit here, because this is an absolutely rampaging start from Hawkins.
It's a fantastic start from Hawkins, and you know, as snooker players, you go slowly mad playing this game, because it's a game of ifs, and every player will look back, and their friends and family and other supporters will go, "Why did you play this shot? What couldn't you have done that?" And it's a game of, like, you just don't know what would have happened if you'd have played another shot. So you always, you know, can fall on your sword or you can win the match. But I'd love a sliding doors moment for Mark Williams at the moment. I'd like him to go back to the first frame, pot the red, not get on anything, don't take the black, play a safety shot, cut his losses. And then I'd like to see what happens after that, because the course of the match will be different. Every time you play a shot and make a different decision, it's going to be a different
But you can't.
course.
There are
You
no
can't.
sliding doors.
And
I'm sorry, Steve.
And that's why, in sport in general, but in snooker, it seems like you go mad thinking about what can be. So that's why it's nice about Mark Williams, because he says, look, I'm going to make mistakes one way, you know, and I'm going to pot pot balls and I'm going to miss balls, and if I throw a frame away, I'm going to forget about it. So having a great temperament is one of the attributes you need in situations like this, because there are players who will completely collapse if they don't get off to a good start.
Well, you mentioned temperament there. He said after his semi-final win that he's going to be chucking frames all over the place, and he's not going to think about that, because when he was in his heyday and his pomp in 2000 to 2003, that was the attitude. OK, I've lost one, I'll win the next few. And that's what's got him to this semi-final here.
It is, and he's such a clever player. He nicks a lot of good frames as well. But in the end, over a season, the more frames you convincingly win and stop your opponent from stealing from you do add up, and they can be important.
Well, brilliant start from Hawkins. 129, 74, 2-0 up.
And it didn't take very long. The opening frame just over 15 minutes and the second frame just over 9 minutes. And that's a pretty good break-off shot there. Because the reds, the way they've opened, he can't just come off a side cushion and nestle into the side of the bunch of reds. He's just saying to the referee, you know, just in case he misses where the white would be, so that he knows where to replace it. Seems to be the done thing these days.
Oh, Barry Hawkins 4.
Well, it's cost him 4 points, but there's a couple of long reds, as we show you. He had to hit this so thin to avoid the corner pocket there, but a tester for Barry Hawkins here. But the way he's queuing, Stephen, you wouldn't expect him to miss one of these.
No, these are the kind of shots that professionals will practice a great deal. Pot on the right hand side of the two reds and just stun into the other red, just nudge it forward and leave himself on the black. I'm like you, Dennis. I didn't expect him to miss that, the way he started this match.
Yep. Can Mark Williams get himself going? Nicely played.
Will he go into the bunch now? He's aiming low on the cue ball. Little cannon on the red to the right. Nicely played, but he's landed too straight on the red to the left corner, so having to go up for the blue now. Possibly a bulk colour.
Nine.
I didn't see too much of his game against Ali Carter. I was on the other table, but he must have played extremely well. I just love watching Mark Williams play. He's so elegant around the table, doesn't move fast, but he deceives you. Is he going to go straight into the pink here? It's not straightforward the way it's sitting. Oh no.
Well, Mark Williams 15.
You couldn't
Barry Hawkins
envisage
6.
that happening. I mean, that is very unfortunate. I was looking to see if there was any red that might plant. And he hit the pink full ball, and to send it into the corner off a red was very unfortunate.
One. 8. Nine.
Hit the pack well, but just could have done the more screw in the cue ball to bring it further through the reds to the right hand side of the table. So it's end of break.
Barry Hawkins, 16.
Well, you can see Mark Williams' problem there. If he leaves the white up this end, he's got to make sure he covers the one that's near the right middle pocket. I don't think he's covered it. I think he can get past the pink to cut that red into the middle. Might be an in-off to the corner pocket though, and that's what he's looking at. If he pots this red, the white will go dangerously close to that right corner, to the right of the green. I think that was distracting him a little bit there. Possibility of the in-off.
Still a slightly surprising miss after the way he started the first two frames.
Now if he takes this pot on across the nap of the cloth, it's so difficult. Super shot from Mark there. Almost tight in the cushion. That was 10 out of 10 for that one. Good chance, this now.
4. Five.
It looks like it's unnatural to just play with top spin into the 5 reds. And he just didn't feel he wanted to risk it.
11.
There is reds available. He wants to
12.
get a frame on the board, so play with shots that are with the least risk possible. And now you can see he's got the reds in open play. He'd be very disappointed now not to put his first frame on the board.
17.
cue ball doesn't seem to travel a great distance, Dennis, when Mark Williams is break building.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I just love watching him play the game of snooker. His touch and feel in these sort of situations
25.
is, well, second to none.
26.
He's let that one slip away. Now, I don't know if the two reds are a possible plant. He will need that. Yeah, this could be another 3-ball plant. He already had one. And there's another one.
That's a 4.
Well, he is a shot maker, Mark Williams. Okay, the two reds together were pretty well set to the pocket, but he's still got to get the first red onto them properly.
The two reds that are closest to the pink are available, but he could snooker himself if he played up that left side of the table. So coming around to have another look at it, so he's just got to be a little bit careful if he takes the green. In fact, he might even, you see, he's looking to see if he can get on the two reds, but the one that's two from the black is also potable. Now this looks to be pretty good. He's played that perfectly.
47.
Yeah, not an easy thing to do, play a deep screw back when you've got the extension and you're stretching out. You don't feel that you can follow the cue through as far.
I mean, this table looks to be playing beautifully. The cushions are coming off nice as well. I think both tables, the cushions were starting to ping a bit and they were coming off faster than they were going on, but now we've just got the one table. Looks to be beautiful to play on. And that's a delicate little positional shot there. And there you can see 41 ahead, just needs this one red. And this is a great response from the Welshman here.
Yeah, both players look at excellent touch, as you would expect from two players that have reached the semi-final. You don't get this far if you're not playing well and taking your opportunities
60.
when you're presented with them.
61.
Now watch this next shot with the reverse side to get up to the yellow when it comes off the cushion. Left hand side, watch the white spin towards the yellow. Oh, lovely shot.
68.
Well, this could be an absolutely cracking semi-final. Oh, here we go with that shot maker. You say, look at that, the way he cues at that. I mean, that's just, here we go again. He's going to clear up playing like this. And look at the position as well. And here we go, the third one. I mean, I know the crowd are laughing, but he does it so well. He enjoys doing it. Look, with side spin and all sorts. Is he going to just drop the black in the middle, dead weight? He will. And it's not quite there.
It is.
But what a fabulous response from the Welshman. That magnificent break of 88 gives him the third frame, but Barry Hawkins still leads 2 frames to 1.
I think we've got ourselves a semi-final, Steve. What a start from the two of them. But you could be, from Mark's point of view, forgiven for thinking, oh no, this is not going well in frame 3. He goes in off, he fouls on the pink as well, and then suddenly he's off and running with that good starter red.
Yeah, Barry Hawkins didn't keep the pressure on him, and even so, this looked pretty safe from Barry Hawkins' perspective, but that was a great red to roll in off the side cushion. Very difficult. Always seems harder to roll balls in across the table as opposed to up and down the table. Yeah, we talk about the nap of the cloth making effect. There's not much nap on them anymore, but it does always seems like it's more of a problem. Mark Williams kept everything still on that shot and then went on to convert the frame. So he'd be mightily relieved, especially as Barry Hawkins was looking good until the third frame.
And a little bit of relief from the pressure as well. 3 Under Armours.
Yeah, I think he plays better like that. It's a very strange way to play the shot, but it saves getting the rest out. It's the sort of shots in the snooker club. You see players, they just sort of jump on the table, have both feet off the floor, which is obviously illegal, but that shot's quite a good one to have in his armoury. But if it's anything serious, very rarely does he play that shot. It's after the event, usually. OK, well, we're going back just to enjoy the last few moments, but fair warning, we will be going off the air as scheduled at 8 o'clock tonight, and this match will be on the red button. In fact, I understand it already is, so be prepared to press red very shortly.
I don't know what sort of snooker club Steve plays in. Shot's been illegal. Wow. Bit strong that then, isn't it? This red is on. You can avoid the cannon on the black.
It was a good effort, and Mark will play a similar type shot. As you can see, Barry miss the red. Again, Mark Williams knock a similar shot in. Well, it's not a good chance here because the black's tied up, the pink's tied up, but if he can get into the reds in a couple of shots' time, he's got a chance.
Four.
So
5.
5 frames, including this one, to play this evening. And as I told you, as scheduled, we are going to leave you now. We would now like to invite you to press red or to enjoy the remaining frames over on the red button on your TVs or indeed on any device you like via the BBC Sport website or app. But if you prefer, I'll have bite-sized highlights for you at 11:15. But in the meantime, from Steve and me, it's goodbye for now.